Our souls are welcome here, as is yours. Thank you, Reverend Deborah, for being here this morning. It's good to see you and everyone else that is present.
And good to see you this morning, Reverend James, and I love your crazy Christmas sweater.
Yes, Santa's just playing a little basketball, trying not to get his shot blocked, kind of like what we do in life. Don't block my life.
We greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is sacred, and all that is holy, and in the warm and loving energy of this community Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, either online or on-site, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every single one of us is here by divine appointment. And we're always so excited to get together. And of course, that excitement extends to when you silence your electronic devices. And please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, let us take this moment and realize that we are connected to this presence. We created a clearing in which we can clearly hear and feel and sense our oneness with the Spirit of the living God. And in this fourth week of Advent, we are reminded of the power of joy, knowing that joy, along with the peace and the love and all that is good and perfect, is the activity of our consciousness when we come under His government and guidance. So we lean on that presence right here, right now, knowing that it is changeless. No matter what we're going through or growing through, that presence is part of our life as we allow it to enter into it. So we know that if we become the vessels and channels of this presence, that not only are we lifted up, but we also lift up all those who happen to cross our path, for it helps them remember the truth of who and what they are and from where they have come. So God needs us to shine God's light so we can express it more and more in this world, and we can begin to transform the very planet in which we live from where it is to where it can be. And we do our part right where we are. So for this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth, multiply, amplifying, and expressing the all good. And we do so in the name and the nature of the Spirit of the living God that dwells in each and every one of us. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center. That's reflected in our mission statement. I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. To transform lives as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we embody these 5 basic universal principles in our life to the best of our ability and let them show up in all the things that we think and do and express. So let's affirm those principles together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And normally we celebrate our community giving recipient on the first Sunday of the month, but he was unable to attend that day, so we've invited them to come today, and Ruth Rizos is here to introduce them.
So welcome Ruth Rizos from our community giving program and to share our partner. So go ahead. Microphone. Yes. Action.
Good morning.
Morning.
And our message today is joy. Yay. So I'm here to tell you about Alchemist Community Development Corporation, or Alchemist CDC. And Alchemist provides access to fresh, healthy food to people in underserved communities. They provide incentives to those who use CalFresh, formerly known as food stamps, at farmers markets. They provide classes and tools for home gardens and start community gardens on vacant land. Additionally, Alchemist Kitchen is a business training program serving aspiring entrepreneurs, food entrepreneurs from low-income populations in Sacramento. So please join me in giving a warm SLC welcome to Sam Greenlee, who will tell us more.
Good morning, and thank you for having me, and for having me on the wrong Sunday of the month. I appreciate your graciousness. And thank you for the gift from this community to our work. Greatly appreciate that. That was a really great overview. We do a lot of work. We do different programs. It's hard to sum us up, so that's better than most of us internally can do. But yes, we really work in the food space. Our mission is to connect communities to land, food, and opportunity. And we work toward a vision in which every neighborhood is healthy, equitable, vibrant, and diverse. As was mentioned toward the end there, we have our Alchemist Kitchen program, which trains, equips, and empowers food entrepreneurs who are from underserved communities. And so these are amazing people who have great work ethic, great recipes, great ideas. They don't have a wealthy uncle to help them start their business. People who can really do something and build stability for their family and for their community if they're given the chance and the resources. So we have a 12-week program that we offer twice a year, teaching the fundamentals of starting and running a successful food business. People come out with a draft of a business plan. And then we have an incubator program that follows that, where people receive 2 to 5 years of individualized coaching, mentoring opportunities. And we also run a commissary kitchen in North Sacramento. Provides affordable production space for these entrepreneurs so they can actually afford to start producing legally and build towards sustainability. We also have a program called Neighborhood Empowerment that has built and it continues to build community gardens and parks in areas that are lacking in those amenities. Most of us have been in Oak Park. We're also active at the Mirasol Village Community Garden in the River District. And then our longest running program is our CalFresh at farmers markets. And so if you've been to one of the local farmers markets and seen the CalFresh booth, the EBT booth, this allows people to come, if they have CalFresh benefits, swipe their card, they get market script, they can spend like cash, they spend it with the vendors, and that gets turned back in for reimbursement later. We also facilitate the Market Match program for the region. It's a statewide program that will match the first $10 at the market each week for a customer. So if they take $10 off their CalFresh card, they get an extra $10 to spend on fruits and vegetables at the farmer's market. So really stretches grocery budget. And it's amazing work. It all predates me, so I feel very lucky to have come into Alchemist a couple of years ago. And then we've been working ahead on that. I forgot to mention this last service, but we've moved somewhat into some advocacy space. This year we sponsored and wrote a bill that Senate Bill 907 that was signed into law in September, still needs to be funded in the next year, but that will fund this sort of CalFresh access at every certified farmer's market in the state. So it's an expensive program to run, but it's really worth it. And we're hoping to see that funded in the new year and increasingly connecting the Sacramento food space to the state. There are a lot of great organizations working throughout, and there's a lot we can do together. So again, thank you for your generosity and for inviting me here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sam. So, on behalf of Spiritual Life Center, Sam, we'd just like to give you this $1,000 check to help with the work that you're doing. And like I said earlier, the Alchemist is a great name because we can transform whatever we're doing to something greater. So thank you for your work, and here's our way of supporting you with this $1,000 check.
Thank you so much.
And just to remind you that we have a number of activities coming up over the holidays. The next 3 Sundays, we're going to have just one service, Christmas Day at 11 o'clock, although you can come earlier at 9 if you want to have a potluck that morning and just hang out with some other folks on Christmas morning. Then New Year's Day at 11 o'clock service, and then the night before this New Year's, we're going to have our Burning Bowl service. So that will be, what time is that going to be?
I think it's
7. 7 o'clock. And so come to that. And January the 8th, which is New Year's Day, we're going to have a 11 o'clock service as well. So we'll be sending out information. Check the website for all the activities going on, but we invite you to be part of any of or all of those services that are happening before now and the end of the year.
And I believe that the schedule is actually out at the hub, so if you want to get a piece of paper, we've also emailed it out, so it's available several different ways.
You didn't mention the candlelight service.
Oh, yes, Saturday coming up,
this
Christmas Eve,
Saturday.
and that's going to be at 5 o'clock. Is that
Right,
correct?
yeah.
5 o'clock, we're going to have our candle lighting service, so come check that out as well. That's the first thing coming up in our schedule. So,
Yes. And
5 o'clock,
the
be there.
return of the choir.
and the choir will be there, yes?
And we will be doing some community caroling at 1:45, so 4:45. Make sure you're here in your seat, and we'll do some singing together before we have our service.
All right.
So now let's talk about what's going to happen in January.
Too much.
But we don't have there won't be a lot of time for announcements over the next couple of weeks. So Reverend Donna Appadoni is going to offer her Transformation class. Has anybody here taken that class? She's going to offer it again, and she actually gave us a video, so let's let her explain it.
Hi, I'm Donna Appadoni. What are you doing in the new year? We all get to that point right around January 1st when we realize we have a clean slate, and there's probably something that each of us can do to make the world a better place. Join me for the Transformation class. Transformation, that's change in order to meet your mission, will help you find your distinct and unique purpose in life so that you can carry out exactly what you're meant to do. It's a 6-week class with steps that are a path to purpose. It starts in January, lasts for 6 weeks. All of the details are on the congregation website, and you can register there too. Join me, and we will change the world in 2023. Look forward to seeing you in Transformation.
Well, we look forward to having Donna here. And as you know, if you know that voice, she was on Capitol Radio for a long time, but now she's doing some other type of work. And speaking of the transformation, once a month we have someone who will share their own transformational story to really reinforce the fact that we are here to fulfill that purpose of helping transform lives so we can make a difference in the world. So today we're going to have Rose Lansway come forward, and she's going to share her experience with you this morning. So welcome, Rose, one of our members of our community.
Hi, everybody.
And a chaplain.
I'm a chaplain.
Thank you so much for being here this morning, Rose. And so to start out, what was the thing that kind of started out you on this process?
Well, some of us, I'm sure all of us, remember in March of 2020, the entire state of California went on lockdown because of the pandemic. And that was the start of a major spiritual shift for me.
So tell me, how did that impact you
Well,
personally?
as all of us remember, there was a period of time when the grocery stores were completely bare. And I went in the store one day with my sons. We were looking for some cleaning supplies because I had adopted 2 dogs. That's another story. They're another story. And the stores were completely bare. And that was the first time in my life, one of the few times in my life, I remember being truly scared because I didn't have the answers and I didn't know where to get the answers. And I knew that the news wasn't giving us the answers that we needed, and I started to experience a lot of anxiety.
So did you go through a time where you were like in a wilderness experience? Things were not clear
there
on how
were
to move
a
forward?
couple of dark weeks there where I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. And then one day I was on Facebook, which is completely not typical for me. And there you were. And you were every day for, I don't know how long that went on. It was like at noon. You were leading us in a group prayer and you were reading the daily word. And that started to bring me comfort and peace, where everything just seemed like it was in complete chaos. And that was kind of the start of it. So that would have been around the first part of April, I guess. Yeah.
So you would say that was one of the turning points that made the difference
Turning
in your
points
life?
that made the difference, and I started praying and meditating. That wasn't something I did a lot of prior to. I had been attending churches over the years, and I'd been away from SLC for a while. And so I started watching you every day on Facebook on that little message, every Sunday with the Sunday service. Started reading more Unity works, started reading Daily Word every day, started meditating every day again. That was something I did not normally do prior to this experience.
So that's not like some of the tools and principles that you use to kind of get you through that
Very
wilderness
much
experience.
So, very much so. And then about a year ago, I kind of felt this calling that I wanted to share those teachings, share the principles. And so I inquired about becoming a prayer chaplain. And then I went through some training for that. And then in July of this past summer, I was dedicated. And then right around that same time, I was given this great opportunity to work with the media team, our awesome musicians, and Cameron and Ira, the guys in the back booth that you may or may not notice every day. And I am doing the PowerPoint on occasion. So that's given me a really great opportunity to get to know people.
Yes,
And
thank you.
yeah.
Cool. So what did you discover about yourself during this process?
What I discovered about myself was when I was starting to feel those moments of anxiety, as I'm sure all of us still do because the pandemic is still going, is you're just a breath away from reconnecting with spirit, reconnecting with source. Right. When you start to feel that panic, you just take a deep breath and you take another deep breath. And I say to myself, I am one with the force. You might have a phrase that works better for you. I am one with the force. God is my source. Over and over and over again, using those affirmations and then learning how to use a denial. In other words, yes, there is this horrible pandemic thing going on, but it has no power over me, no power over my life.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you shared some of the things that you're doing today. And are there any other things that you want to share about where you are today?
So besides being a prayer chaplain and helping out with the media team, I am a student at Unity Worldwide Ministries. My goal is to become a licensed Unity teacher. And I start my 5th class next month.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So
you've come quite a way. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing your experience, Rose. And we look forward to hearing the next chapter of your adventures. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
I think it's just such a wonderful thing that you do these little transformational stories, because it helps us all get to know each other better, and it also gives insight into what the personal process is. So thank you,
Yes,
James.
it's a good thing. Helps me keep coming back.
So remember, not that we haven't mentioned it already, but there are many activities here that foster transformation in our lives. So check out our weekly small groups and our other offerings. And to discover all the happenings that we have here, you can, of course, go to our website, or you can go out into the courtyard, and there is a bulletin board that has a lot of things on it, and you can also chat with the ladies at the hub to find out what's going on at SLC.
And at this time, we just want to acknowledge any of our board members and chaplains that are here this morning. And the chaplains that are here have the white stoles. And not only do they hold a high watch throughout the year, but each Sunday, if you have a prayer need, they're available to you to pray with, to hold the high watch, to see things from the highest point of view, and they'll be available in the courtyard to do that. And like I said, you don't have to wait till you have a problem. You can just celebrate some good stuff as well. They'll help you go to even another level. So we thank the chaplains for their service. And our board members do a lot of work behind the scenes. They bring their time, their talent, their skills, and keep us moving forward through all the things that happen in our world and within our community. And if you have any questions of any of our board members, they'll be more than answer them. But we thank them for bringing their skills and talent and energy and consciousness to our community. So we thank them, and just thank them for their work as well for our community of Spiritual Life Center.
And we'd love to greet our newcomers, so in a moment, we will ask you to raise your hand. But first, we want you to know there are many ways to become connected at Spiritual Life Center. And one way to start that process is to fill out the welcome card. Now, that welcome card is available online. You can go to our website, fill out the card, submit it, and then we will get back to you. If you're here on site, raise your hand and keep it up until we find you. And then we will give you the card, fill it out, take it to the courtyard, to the welcome table where there is a special gift and a very warm welcome for you.
So if anyone's here for the very first time, I invite you to raise your hand any first time. It says we have a couple. What's the first right up front here, in the second row, third row here, to my right. We thank you for your presence. We affirm your magnificence, and we see you doing great things. And we're available here to support you in a way that whatever you feel is supportive of you. And we thank you for your presence. And with that, I just invite, and you can wear the ribbon if you want to get that special Spiritual Life Center greeting. And with that, I invite anyone to greet their friend or neighbor or someone that you don't know or know, and just say, you are wonderful, right? Oh,
You are
fabulous. Anyway, I'm trying to get a fabulous. Fabulous.
And we invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song, Angels We Have Heard on High. I think you know this one.
I know I do.
Angels we have heard on sweetly singing o'er the plains and Please be seated. Take all that joy and be seated.
Now let's take a nice deep breath together. Become one with the force and connect to source. I love that, Rose. I think that's the start of a song right there. So I invite us all now to settle in and speak out loud our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
And I just invite you to settle in to this moment right here, right now, where you are always being given peace and joy and hope, light, life, and love. And we take that, and just as our mission statement to love, serve, and remember, we give it back to those we come in contact with. We give it out. We become that vessel. So I invite you in that spirit to sing this with me. Together. I give you peace. I give you joy. I'll give you hope when all your hope is gone. I'll give you life. I'll give you life. I'll give you love, pure love. I'll give you peace. I'll give you peace. I'll give you joy. I'll give you joy. I'll give you hope. I'll give you hope. When all your hope is gone. All your hope is gone. I'll give you life. I'll give you life. I'll give you life. I'll give you love, pure love. I'll give you peace. I'll give you joy. I'll give you hope when all your hope is gone. All your hope is gone. I'll give you life. I'll give you life. I'll give you love, pure love, pure love.
As we settle into this time of quiet, breathe naturally. And simply be aware of how you relax with each breath. Breathe into the back of your heart. Melt into your seat. Relax your eyelids. And allow your vision to become soft and cloudy as you close your eyes. And then allow your consciousness to float up and up and up into a light daydream. Before you stands a beautiful alabaster altar dressed in Christmas regalia. Light from the candles and decorations sparkle and glint off of 4 chalices, 4 golden chalices that sit on the altar. The atmosphere is quiet, almost magical. As you draw near, you see that each chalice is engraved with a name. The first chalice is called Faith and Hope. And you gently reach out and bring the chalice to your lips. Drink in the sweet energy of faith and hope. When you drink from the cup of faith and hope, you awaken to possibilities, to your inner knowing. You are aware of new ideas, new ways of being. The second chalice is called Peace. And you gently now reach out and bring that chalice to your lips. And drink in the sweet energy of peace. When you drink from the cup of peace, your thoughts grow quiet, your mind and heart open. You release resistance and feel calm, centered, aware. The third chalice is called love. Gently reach out and bring that chalice to your lips. And drink in the sweet energy of love. When you drink from the cup of love, you unite with your Christ consciousness. You love without expectation, without exception. Separation dissolves, and you are one. The fourth chalice is called joy. And gently reach out and bring it to your lips. When you drink from the cup of joy, you recognize that even in the smallest and darkest of places, joy resides, buoying you up, fostering hope, faith, love, and peace. As you return the cup of joy to the altar, the chalices begin to pulse and glow until they dissolve and merge into one magnificent, pure light that streams directly into your heart. Allow the light of faith, hope, peace, love, joy to fill your entire being in the silence. You are united with your Christ consciousness. You are whole. You are healed. You are one. With a slight bow of gratitude, turn from the altar and, taking a breath, begin to return to your earthly body as you receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, your Christ consciousness is the possible you, the real you. As you foster the attributes of faith, hope, peace, love, and joy, your highest and best self will arise, bring you comfort and joy for all your days. Remember this always.
Memories can be lonely when dreams come to an end. The future can be fleeting like a frosty winter wind. But when fear grips my soul with its cold reality, you run to my rescue, speaking hope to me. You bring me comfort and joy, raining peace down from heaven. Comfort and joy that earth cannot destroy. I will long for your presence and the sweetness of your voice. Only you bring me comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. Only you bring me comfort and joy. See, I know that my tomorrows are never guaranteed, and I don't know what sorrow may lie in store for me, but I know that you will lead me through each cold and raging storm. I find in you a refuge. There's safety in your arms. You bring me comfort and joy, raining peace down from heaven. Comfort and joy that earth cannot destroy. How I long for your presence and the sweetness of your voice. Only you bring me comfort
Thanks for that reminder. We can lean on that comfort and joy that's always there for us. Well, we're back into the holiday season once again. Seems like we just had Christmas. You know, there was a story about a gentleman who was very rich. I mean, he had a lot of material things in his life. And he was prosperous, at least in a material way. He didn't necessarily have a prosperity of the heart. And around the Christmas time, he went down to the market, and there were a lot of people there. And he was noticing that everyone around there were very happy, and they were very joyous. Yet, they didn't have much. They didn't have anything near to what he had in his life. And this caused him to want to get more, thinking this was going to give him satisfaction and happiness and joy. But the more that he got, the more ruthless he became in his own business, and less joy he was experiencing. And this perplexed him. It puzzled him. He was puzzled because, the people around him were in such joy and happiness and enthusiasm. They were enjoying their families. They were enjoying their work. They were enjoying giving, to their community in ways that they could give. And this kind of gnawed at him a little bit. So he decided one day to go see this monk, of course. And he said to this monk, he said, I know all the people that come to you, and I want to catch that joy that these people are living in. I want you to teach me your yoga. I want to teach me your presence, and so I can connect with this joy, this comfort and joy that these other people are doing. And the monk said to him, well, it's too late for you. And the man was stunned to hear him say these things out of his mouth, and said, what do you mean it's too late for me? And so that guru, monk, said to him and explained to him, well, it's too late for you because I can see by your aura, you're going to be unalive in about 10 days. So for the next few days, just go about and do what you've been doing and whatever you think is going to make you happy, because I can't teach you in 10 days. And of course, this man did not want to accept this at all. And he said to him, but aren't you the guy that everybody says that with God all things are possible? And the monk said, yeah, that's true, but, you're going to be gone in 10 days, so I can't waste my time with you. But here's the deal. I'll make a bargain with you. I'll make a deal with you. If you are still around after 10 days, which I don't think you will be, I doubt it, I will then give you the teachings. And so the man went back home. He was somewhat sad and downtrodden. And he was sitting in his office at his desk, and his assistant and his accountant came to him and said, do you want me to go and collect these loans that are outstanding, that there's one guy that owes you a whole bunch of money. Do you want me to go out and get it from him? And the man said, no, because he knew that he wasn't going to be here after 10 days. And so he simply told his assistant, just tell the man that, I loaned him the money because, I had way more than I needed. And that he can pay me back whenever he can. And so his assistant, the accountant who had kept track of everything for him, was stunned when he looked at this guy. He was wondering, who are you? Because this guy had never acted this way before. And then the man who had only had 10 days to live said to his accountant, as a matter of fact, get my brother on the phone. We haven't spoken in over 10 years, and I've been upset with him. He's been upset with me. I cut him off. We haven't communicated at all. And tell him I want to see him. And so his assistant did call, and the brother came to him immediately, and they hugged and they embraced. And then he said to his brother, I apologize how we separated from one another and what went on between us. I just want to let you know that I love you and I forgive everything that's happened between us. Let's just be friends and family again. And his brother was just shocked when he saw this because he had never witnessed his brother act like this before in his life. And then the rich businessman started setting up special accounts for children to go to school in his community. He was giving away money to charities and good causes in his community. Then the people in the community were also stunned when they heard about this man's generosity. They were even further taken aback and just less flabbergasted when he began to stop and he began to talk to people and expressing loving kindness toward every individual that crossed his path and were present with him. And soon the word began to get out in the entire community. Since this man had gone to visit this monk, something had happened to him. And then finally the 10th day came. And the man was nervously looking at his watch and certain that the Grim Reaper was on his way at any moment to take his life. Because this monk had never been wrong in any of the predictions that he had. But he was so nervous and so forth, he eventually fell asleep from nervous exhaustion. And he woke up the next day and he looked around and he touched himself and said, "Oh my God, I'm still alive." So he ran up the hill to where the monk was and said to him, "Now you told me that if I was alive after 10 days, you would give me your teachings, that you would give me your yoga. You would tell me how I connect with the Spirit of the living God, to have that comfort and joy and enthusiasm that these other people have." And the monk said to him, he wasn't a monkey, he could have been a monkey, but the monk said to him, "I already have. I've already given you the essence of my teachings. To live deliberately for the Spirit of the living God. Live for the essence of good, and it will be expressed through you in and as your life, and you will experience true abundance. You will experience true joy in your life." Amen. Today's the last day of our Advent. Today, of course, is joy. And we've been talking about how Christmas and Advent season reminds us of spiritual truth and principles that we've been gifted with. These include powers of the faith and the love and the joy and the wisdom and of course, all the things that are good and perfect. And as we look at joy and talk about joy, sometimes we may look around the world and we listen to some people's conversations and people may wonder, like that man who had great prosperity, what happened to the miraculous life energy that has brought us into existence? Sometimes we may feel like the emotional energy of the world is flatlining. Maybe in the country it seems like it's flatlining. After all, people will say, "What do you mean we've been gifted with joy?" Have you looked on the internet lately? Don't do that. If they say that, they may say, "Do you know what's happening? Do you see all the conflicts that are going on across the planet, the suffering that's seemingly taking place in our world? Have you seen the statistics on gun violence and deaths just this week? The lack of joy seems to be justified." And then you add on top of that, where we sense a world where a number of people are fascinated, maybe even caught up in only the materialism that sometimes shouts at us so loudly at this time of the year, where we may forget about the essence and the real meaning of Christmas. Or maybe we're caught up, maybe not you, but some people are caught up in the reality shows that has nothing to do with reality. They're trying to experience somebody else's life from afar. It appears that many people have become resigned, that they have been given up their remarkable potential, that they are consenting to creeping in life instead of soaring in life. So we want to remember that life's purpose was given to us by the master teacher when he said, "I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly." And I would add even to that, to have it more freely, to have it more vibrantly, to have it more madly, to have it more consciously, more lovingly, more enthusiastically, and of course, more joyously. That Christ's nature gives us a charge for such a life. And we are here to fire that up. We're here to practice that joy by re-examining our orientation, where we're focusing our attention so we can develop more positive and more presence in this life. So you may ask how we do this, how do we make joy life regardless of what we may be going through or growing through. I always like to say there's no definitive how-tos. We can take a class, a workshop, seminar. It's never like that. It's always a process that gives us strategies to keep us in that joy. And we realize that we can get involved in that when we recognize that we always have a choice. There was a gentleman who went to work every day, and he had his lunch in his lunch box, and he came to his lunch and he would open it up and he would say something like, "Man, peanut butter again?" So the next day he would come back, open up his lunch box and look inside and say, "Peanut butter again?" And he did this day in and day out. And finally, one of his coworkers, just got exasperated by him. And he said to him, "Look, man, if you don't want peanut butter anymore, just tell your wife to give you something else." And the guy said, "Man, leave my wife out of that. I make my own sandwiches." Understand one of the greatest freedoms, need no more laughter here, is that we have the ability to choose. At any moment, we can choose the palette of our emotional sky, so to speak. And we alone can activate the very energy and emotion through which we experience this thing called life. So if we wish to feel joy, if we wish to feel that gratitude in our life, then we must direct our beliefs, we must direct our behaviors in order to accomplish the very end of joy. And we must do it constantly with the force and with repetition, and so that those emotions become the colors of our daily attitude. Now, it sounds simple, but it's not that easy. But let that be our mission. Perhaps the key requirement of good life is to have the constancy of our mind to maintain our joy, to maintain our gratitude, even amidst hardship, even amidst pain, even amidst injustice. There's a story about the Dalai Lama, and he was, I think, giving a lecture, a bunch of people, and right in the middle of the lecture, his assistant came up to him and kind of whispered in his ear and apparently let him know that one of his close allies had passed on. And Dalai Lama had said that he experienced the crucifixion of that moment. But what had happened is that right after that, he went back into the energy of joy so he could really connect with the people that were there right before him. He practiced exuding joy on a regular basis, so even in challenging situations, he can get back into that joy. Now, most of us are not there on that level of consciousness. Even without extreme hardship or pain in life, some of the studies show that 25% of America feels depressed over long periods of time. Sometimes it's chemical and genetic, but oftentimes it's the research saying that many people are afflicted with something far deadlier than ordinary pressures of life, or even some chemical or genetic causes. They're often the victims of their own resentful judgments. Some of the research has shown that, where resentful thoughts in people's minds reduce, their sense of sadness and depression also declines rapidly. There was a story about a physician who had a patient, and the patient had this joyless life. Because he always had these resentful thoughts, including harshly rebuking and criticizing his workers around him. I don't know if people that like that are always criticizing something. They criticize as if there's some sort of prize in it. But he often would end up giving out sharp-edged words toward other people. And he said the man was so desperate for relief from his chronic depression, he was willing to have it beat out of him. I thought that was a little extreme. And so the doctor said, maybe there's something else you could do less drastic. He said, try a little spiritual discipline instead. And he told the man to constantly stop or break his vengeful impulses and refuse as best he could from turning his hostile thoughts into hurtful comments or punitive actions, and just to do that every day for 1 year. And he found out in less time than that particular patient of the doctor got better. His depression and sadness went away. Joy returned to his life. And he said that the doctor left him with this message and this advice. He said, never, ever allow yourself to entertain malicious thoughts under any circumstance, no matter how provocative they may be. He said, forgive people that, we may not want to forgive. And we hurt ourselves whenever we carry a grudge against anyone, any person, any institution, and that's no way to live, and it stops our own joy. I think this is what is necessary for self-mastery and joy. There can be no mastery of life if we cannot transform the energy we feel at any moment to cheerful engagement and deep appreciation. That's why I like the presenter here. He talked about the alchemist. We can transform anything to a higher level of being. Now, we'll have people who call themselves realists. They can tell, well, this is impossible. They've abandoned hope. And they will say that our world is too stressful and too cruel, that our genetics and our environment are destined to dominate our life and our feelings. But I always like to say that we can always think independent of any circumstance. That's our special power that we all have. And we can determine what our attitude will be. It's our inner attitude that determines our experience, not the circumstance. As one individual told me, if I was going through some challenges, with my own way of seeing the world, he said, it's your dude that's putting you in your mood. It's our own inner attitude that's making all the difference. Understand, there are those faces are so alight with life that they serve as a blinding reminder that amid the seeming darkness that we go through, that joy is always there and hope always exists. Years ago, when I was at United Worldwide Ministries, we went to Nigeria. And they have a lot of really fabulous places in Nigeria, high end. It's very different from what a lot of people think. But they also have some challenging places. And I remember one time we went to a school there. And they didn't have all the creature comforts that, most of the schools here in the United States have, even the ones that are so-called not so good. They didn't have any like projectors or computers or, sometimes they just had plain wooden chairs and desks, chalk, and a chalkboard. That was it. But they all had tremendous joy. And I remember that we had, went out and bought some pens and I think it's not even pens, just pencils and paper just for that particular school, because we rounded up some money for that. And you would have thought that we had bought them a brand new Maserati because they were so grateful and that blissful joy and had appreciation for everything. And some of them may have come from challenging environments. Some of them may have come from, challenging economic circumstances. But they didn't choose to see it that way. They didn't bring any sense of lack. They seemed to be blissfully aware and deeply thankful for the blessings, even though those blessings may be considered few and far between compared to our standards. So I think these few and the energized and the happy and the thankful among us are not lucky, nor are they to be envied, for their treasures are available to all of us. Their treasure is a freely chosen attitude. And we're not blind to the fact that, yes, sometimes it's difficult to choose joy when we're in an agitated, chaotic, and sometimes angry world. Sometimes we're wired, to mirror sometimes the emotions that vibrate around us. Sometimes it's good. Maybe we have a blessing that we've been given whenever there's times of grave danger years ago, because maybe it prevented us from being maimed or or murdered or by a band of people around us. So it's very primal. Maybe it's still within us, but we use it in a way that doesn't serve us today. And sometimes we mirror the impulse around us, and it can really bring our lives down. So the energy of the collective consciousness is at best sometimes just a very low vibration. And if we get caught up in it, then we'll be showing and radiating that low vibration as well. But we want to ask ourselves, should I conform to their energy, to those folks around us? The more we automatically allow ourselves to sync with other people's energy levels, particularly if it's low, it will affect us. So we want to get involved only with energy that is of love, enthusiasm, and joy. All those things we wish to feel. Because the more we diminish our personal power, the more we don't bring the joy to our life. So we ask this question, what is the magic? What is the secret of the joyous folks that seem in joy all of the time, who illuminate our world? Well, I think there's a simple formula, as I mentioned. They simply are more conscious and consistent in their attempts to sense and generate joy, to generate gratitude. Maybe they just try harder, making joy a practice, a habit, a consistent condition of their own character, an enduring social art amid glum and sometimes boring times. They just make that choice. They made it their aim to live a joyous life. That is all they've done. So let us look at the instructions sometimes of little people called kids. They're in that joy nearly all of the time. They have that joy naturally. You know, they're curious. They don't hold on to expectations much. They take pleasure in the small things and expect good things, and they let go of the bad things really quick. And they cheerfully engage in the moment. I think those who perfect bringing joy to everyday life are not unlike any other master of something. They work at it. Then they bring that seemingly challenging situation and make it into play. You know, the greatest artists and athletes and high-achieving business people and entrepreneurs, the happiest laborers and the most respected leaders all lose themselves in their work in great zeal and enthusiasm because it's never about them. It's about something bigger than themselves. Their efforts are like a game. So even in chaos, even in turmoil, they meet struggle with intense and spirited joy. And they engage in the challenge and honor as if they expect it and they accept it. It said, like I said, even amongst discomfort, even amongst the complexity of building their lives and their careers, they'll sometimes just feel unfazed by it all, and they bring a serene energy to it. And sometimes they just sing while they toil. They simply smile, no matter how perplexing the situation may be. And we can learn from them. They are the joyous masters. And we can be those joyous masters as well. And sometimes we just need a reminder, you know, that we can choose to make joy our life. Sometimes I have to get up in the morning and say, today is going to be a good day. No matter what happened yesterday, today is a good day. We can just say that together. Today is a good day. And we can even sing about it. We can even sing it. Let's bring a little music here. Good day. I get up in the morning, sometimes I play this song, get me started. We're going to have a good day. Yes. If you feel like getting up, feeling it, feel that good day energy coming through you right now. Yes. Feel the joy. It's the joyous time of the season. We're grateful, thankful, in the gratitude for the good that is in our life. Yes. Feel that inner joy come forth. Yes. Yes. It's a good day. Good day. Brighter day. No matter what. It's going to be a good day. We choose it to be a good day. You know, they say that a generator doesn't have energy. It generates it. It creates it. You know, we can create and generate the joy within us at any given moment. We express gratitude and appreciation. And once we begin to do that, we begin to bring that energy and joy that is inherent within each and every one of us. So this Christmas season, as we finish up this Advent series, know the choice is ours. The joy is ours. We just need to decide to make it happen. Peace and blessings to you. And we want to generate as much joy as we want. And just remember that next, first of all, Friday, 5 o'clock. I keep saying Friday. I think my mind is thinking Friday because never is Christmas on Sunday. No, it's not as never, but usually it doesn't fall on Sundays. But it's Saturday at 5 o'clock, our candle lighting service. And then the next morning, we'll have a one Christmas brunch, potluck. You can come at 9 for that. And then 10:45 before we get ready for our Christ, celebrating the Christ at 11 o'clock. There's only one service next week. And then the following Saturday, we'll have our Burning Bowl service. And then Sunday morning on New Year's Day, we'll have a 11 o'clock service only. Anyway, we're going to send all that information out online. You can always go onto our website to try to keep it all in your head. I have it in front of me, and I can't even keep it all in my head. You know. So at this point, we just want to, first of all, thank all those who have been with us today, and we want to thank those who are online. And if you want to support Spiritual Life Center and spreading this energy, this love, and the consciousness in what we're about, you can give to Spiritual Life Center, make your gift or donation. And you can simply text 44321, write in SLC Love. It'll take you to the page to give to Spiritual Life Center. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, go to the Donate tab. You can give in other ways, including by mail. And so with that, I invite those who are here today to give their gifts or love offerings and know that you are supporting a vessel, a vehicle for others to come who are looking to transform their lives, to have that alchemy happen in their life to move from where they are to where they can be. And so with that, I just invite you to symbolically raise your gift to the ever-expanding good, also known as heaven, and know that no matter how you've given or continue to give, you can support us in moving us to that place. And so with that awareness, let's affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
We're going to close out our service today with, as we celebrate the gift of joy, with a Hanukkah song. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. And so we know many people are celebrating the joy of Hanukkah as well. And as we celebrate one God, many paths, we have this special gift for you.
Yep. Spin the dreidel, light the lights. Everyone stays home tonight. The story is told, the young and the old together. As twilight meets the setting sun, light the candles one by one. Remember the past, traditions that last forever. Come, let's share the joy of Hanukkah. May our friendship grow as the candles glow. So won't you come and share the joy of Hanukkah, and we'll celebrate as only friends can do. Happy Hanukkah, my friend, from me to you. Candlelight or star above, messages of peace and love. The meaning is clear, we're all here as sisters and brothers. So let's begin with you and me. Let worship shine eternally. May this holiday enlighten the way for others. Come, let's share the joy of Hanukkah. May our friendship grow as the candles glow. So won't you come and share the joy of Hanukkah, and we're hoping all you're wishing for comes true. Happy Hanukkah, my friend, from me to you. Happy Hanukkah, my Grace Church. I get to wear a Christmas tree and sing about Hanukkah.
Oh, that's true. One God, many paths. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy everything, joy to all.
Thank you. Hanukkah and Christmas trees, only at SLC. Well, we bless the tithes and offerings that have come in today, knowing He's going to bless the givers and the receivers, so that we can provide a place for those who are looking to transform their lives from where they are to where they can be. We also bless those who have left their prayers in the prayer box, recognizing that part of the human experience is that we have challenges along the way. And these challenges can be transformed or alchematized by seeing things from the highest point of view. And when we see things from the highest point of view, what we do see are only divine and perfect spiritual ideas. For this is the nature of the force. This is the nature of the Spirit of God. It only deals with perfect solutions and divine and perfect ideas. And our task is simply to raise ourselves to be one with the solutions that the presence has in store for each and every one of us. And once we connect with that presence, we watch as the miracles take place. And we know the solutions may come from places we never imagined and ways we never thought of. And may it be something different from what our human mind can conceive. But we know that the presence of God is all, knows all, and is in all. And we accept this truth as we move forward to do our part, to anchor in our life and in our world the expanding good. And for this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth with absolute joy. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let's join together as we affirm our prayer for protection and take this in as the truth of our being. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. And that is the truth. Let us sing our peace song together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family, all are we, family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment with every step I take. Let this be my joy, my child's bound. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Oh, that means you guys. Come on.
Stick around, we got a nice song. Yeah.